Hey guys, I'm Shawn Cheek of WebPianoTeacher.com. How you doing? I'm going to continue our sight reading boot camp series, my 100 lesson jump start for sight reading. What is sight reading? It is not memorization, learning a piece and memorizing it, learning a song and memorizing it. It's not that at all. It's how fast, and how efficient you are at seeing what's on the page, transferring it to piano without looking at your hands, and recognizing the patterns of chords and scales and all that. Not as hard as you might think if we do things in the right way. And all that makes you faster at that skill of sight reading. And you can get really good at it, but you have to do the right things. I forever was terrible at it. I was a great pianist. I could play, I played Chopin etudes really, really well. I mean, I was really good classical pianist, but I couldn't sight read worth anything, and I just could never understand why. It's because when I was a kid, I was really talented, and I kind of just skipped over everything and jumped to the hard stuff. And so I knew enough about reading music, I could figure it out. But I would learn one measure at a time, left hand, right hand, the next one, and I would memorize. And I never could sight read, and I couldn't figure out, why. And I learned later why. To get good at that skill of sight reading, we have to play quantity over quality. Quality is important, but if we're learning the skill of sight reading, we want quantity on a lot of easy things, and then we raise the bar just a little bit, okay? And then we do a lot of quantity again, and we get really good at that skill, and then we raise the bar a little bit instead of jumping up, okay? People who have great ears are some of the worst sight readers I've ever seen, because the ear takes over and people use their ear rather than reading. They guess. They don't know the names of the notes really. They can count up and figure it out, but they don't really know the names of the notes sometimes on the keyboard. I definitely don't know all the names of the notes on the page, and definitely can't play something at sight without looking at their hands because they've never trained themselves to do that. That's what this series is about. Make sure you've done lessons 1 through 6. If you're just looking up for sight reading, something on YouTube, and come up, this lesson 7 comes up, make sure you do 1 through 6, okay? Very good information in those. You can't just jump here at the end or at lesson 7 and hope to get everything that was in the previous lessons. So here we go, lesson 7. If you're tracking along with me, I hope you've done lessons 1 through 6. It's absolutely necessary. No way around it, no matter who you are. So lessons 1 through 6, do practice in the way we talked about. Make sure you've done your sight reading flashcards. Make sure you played lesson 1 through 6 today, okay, right before this lesson. And now we're going to try 7. It's called Crossing Over. I wrote these years ago, but they're so good. They're so useful to me that I keep using them. Okay, so crossing over, we'll see what that's about. Let's take a look at the first line here, okay? Right away, I see something maybe we haven't seen before in this lesson series. That's the squiggly line there. That's a pretty nice, neat figure there, isn't it? It's kind of artsy looking. It's called a rest. It's a quarter rest, and that's a half rest. A half rest is like a hat, sits on the line, and it gets 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, and then count 4 is there. Count 4 is a rest in the right hand there. So what happens is you're counting this 1, 2, 3, 4. And you don't really have to count that because the right hand's counting it for you. You don't have to count that rest because the left hand's counting it for you. But just to be mathematically correct for right hand and left hand, we put the rests in there to account for the 4 counts, okay? All right, so that's what those are. So as we get into this, and we're going to play it, I'd like you to try hands separately first. Can you play the left hand through by itself, and can you tell what the intervals are as well as what the names of the notes are? So try that for a second, pause your video, and come back, and here we go. So we start off, we have E and G because they're 2 space notes. We look at here, and we have F and G, the catty-cornered notes. It's a second. This was a third, second. This is G and C. It's a fifth. So I want you to know both things. I want you to know that it's an interval of a third, second, fifth, but I also want you to know F and G, C and G, E and G. So what happens if you're really good at ear stuff and memorizing and copying, you can just see the distance and just play, get by and not really know what you're doing. And the teacher thinks, oh, they must know all the notes, and you don't. But I know that trick. So I'm telling you, say them out loud, know the names of the notes. Let's skip over. G, did you know that was a G, I hope? E and G. Okay. All right. Right hand, let's take a look. C, C, C. D, D, D. E, F, G, C. Now, the next note we have not had yet. Okay, we haven't had that note yet. It's one lower than a C. What do you think the name of the note is if it's one lower than a C? Think one lower in your alphabet. So it's the letter B, right? So it's true. A B's right here. This is a B. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to just move my thumb over. I'm going to cross my 2 finger over. Remember the finger numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, C, D. So all I did was cross it over. So that way I keep my anchor. My thumb's my anchor. Then I can feel. See, whenever you're on your thumb and you run out of fingers and you just have one note to do, you just cross that finger over and come right back. D. So that's what we're going to do. It's the crossover. Okay? All right, let's play it together. You can try that with pausing the video. Maybe it's a train wreck. That's okay. Now you're back and you can see me do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, G, C. Crossover. C. 1. Now the trick is, the temptation is going to be to look down when you cross that finger over for the B. Don't look. Feel for it. Feel for it. You ever moving around the house and all the lights are out at night, but you know your house, and so we think we do, and then we stub our toe or run right into the coffee table or something, but you feel from one thing to the next in the dark, right? Because you know where things are. And you hold on to this thing, and you feel for the next thing, and you can move on and go that way. That's what you're doing on the keyboard. You're feeling for it. And even if you made a mistake, you can even get where you can fix it without looking. So don't immediately look down at your hand if you make a mistake. Try to fix it also without looking. If you're just, excuse me, if you're just totally lost, okay, you can look down and start again. But the idea is try not to look down, okay? Now, we're going to try the second line in just a second. But I don't want you to forget to also know what the names of the notes are on the keyboard. I think we did this in maybe the first couple lessons, but don't forget to just pick random notes and say, what is that? That's an A. Another random note. I say one A, but let's try that one. What's that one? F. B. B. There's a G. I'm just coming down wherever my finger is and naming the note without counting up. Remember? Don't play that one and I say, what is that? And you go, C, D, E, F. Fail. We don't do that. It's an F because it's on the side of 3 black notes. And you can actually learn them in groups. You can say the 2 black keys, the white keys that are around the set of 2 black keys are C, D, E. C, D, E. And then the white notes that are around the set of 3 blacks are F, G, A, B. Okay, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And if you need to separate them into groups, you can kind of do that. But there's only 7. Come on, you can do that. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Learn them that way. Back to the music. We already played the first line. Let's play the second line. And guys, the concepts I'm giving you here, you can do with any method book. You can get, some of the old method books that were written, they're kind of funny to look at them. Back in the early 1900s and as they went, 40s and 50s. And then later on, people started making newer ones, and any one of those are fine as long as you do these concepts. Keep it easy. Play a lot of easy stuff. Go through and play level 1. Find all these level 1 books and just keep playing level 1 over and over again until you're ready for level 2. Okay. So second line, measure 6. We have just a brief look at the left hand. Seconds. 5th, fifth, second, third, second, third, fifth. Okay, so maybe that'll come real quick. But don't forget to know F and G, C and G, C and G, okay? Right hand, let's put it together. Ready? And D, 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 E, F, G, C, D, E, C, 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 3, 4, E, 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 E. And I just stop there because that's the end of the line. And yeah, you can do hands separately and then try to put them together. That's a way to kind of ease into it but if you can just sit down and play both hands together, that's great. But definitely left hand if you need to do that. That's kind of makes you feel more comfortable. Okay, let's try the last line. Let's take a look at it. We have fourth, fifth, third, second, fifth, second, third, knowing the intervals, but also knowing the individual letters. Okay, right hand, F, E. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, C, 4. 3, 4, E, F, G, C, D, E, C. And we're there. Don't forget to hold down the whole measure. And hold this down. Don't play the D and then let it up when you play E. You hold it down so it lasts for 2 counts. Okay? All right, let's try the whole thing. All right, so we're gonna try all of this, and yeah, as these get harder, you're gonna have to spend more time on them, and that's okay. This one is much harder than lesson 1 was. And it may take you a couple of days instead of a few minutes to really get comfortable with this one. That's okay. As soon as you are getting a handle on it, push yourself to the next one. Go to the next one, okay? We're not going for perfection. The mindset of perfectionism will work against you on this. You want to keep moving on, keep seeing new things. And I know the other songs aren't new anymore, but they still have value because you're playing them without looking at your hands and you're looking at the note and saying what the letter is, right? And I will say, as soon as you feel like you really know them, then you can stop saying the letter out loud. If you don't know it immediately, you need to keep saying them, okay? But as soon as you feel like you really know them as well as you know the alphabet, then you can stop saying them. All right, and that flashcard app you do, or flashcard routine, I'd keep doing that, till about lesson 20 or so, maybe beyond that, if you still forget. Okay, so we're going to try the whole thing. You ready? 1, 2, ready, and go. E, F, G, C, cross over. The rest, but I gotta scroll. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, later on I think I can pinch it and get it smaller where the whole page will fit, but I like to keep it big like this so all of us looking can see everything on the screen. So there we go. That is lesson 6. And I'll see you in lesson 7. Good luck with everything, and hang in there, right? It is, sometimes frustrating. I know that, but it will get better. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. See you in the next one.